Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and welcome to the Steam Autumn Sale of 2020. Not enough syllables there, kind of like the summer sale. Rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, but anyway, it's been since the summer sale that we've actually done a sale video here on the channel. This is my opportunity to gush about a lot of games that fly under the radar that are going on with great deals at this moment in time. Now, the autumn sale always is sort of the introductory to, of course, the holiday sale, one of the famous Steam sales. But for now, there's a lot of great games on sale that I want to suggest to all of you. And do keep in mind, I've done a lot of these for like 3 years, okay? So if I don't talk to you about Fallout or The Witcher or Call of Duty, it's probably because I've recommended these games at one point or another. You know, it's a revolving door. We want to get new games in there, try new things out. And what better time to do so when then the games are heavily discounted. So let's get it started. But first, a word from everyone's favorite Mr. Matty sponsor. Hey you, do you want to avoid cutsack-itis unlike this sad soul right here? Cutsack-itis is an injury that many folks struggle with, in which they serrate their lower region because they use the wrong razor. And now, with the holidays coming near, we need to make sure that we're selecting the proper gifts for those closest to us. Spirits are high, and this is the time of giving, so make sure you consider those gifts wisely.
Really, Mom? Sly Cooper on Vita again? This has been 3 years in a row! Nah. I want it Manscaped!
If you don't want your Christmas destroyed like that, then you gotta head over to Manscaped.com. Over there, they have a wide variety of options, such as the Performance Package Kit, where you can get your own lawnmower to avoid cutsack-itis, alongside ball deodorant, ball toner, the most comfortable briefs of all time, a charging kit. It's all you need in one package. Or what about the shears? An entire grooming kit in a small storage case for you to take wherever you need. How about a nose and ear hair trimmer? All of these are quite appealing options. So what you want to do is head over to manscaped.com and use the promo code Maddie. You get 20% off, so make sure to treat someone well this Christmas season. This is Robbery. Vampire, one of my favorite RPGs of this generation, and I think one of the best RPGs of 2018, is on sale for 75% off at $10. Take advantage of this deal. If you're gonna take advantage of anyone and you like RPGs, which you probably do if you're watching my channel, this is the one. This is the way, as I said a couple videos ago, but this is actually the way. All right, you play as a vampire, and you make choices on who you're going to feed on, who you're not going to feed on. Every character in the world has their own story with very expansive dialogue trees, a lot of conversations to be had, a lot of choices to make with the story itself, as well as those side quests. It's an evolving world. It's awesome, and it doesn't eat up too much of your time. It's about a 30-hour game tops. Not super long. It's district by district, semi-open world. I like the combat. That's a bit hit or miss for a lot of people, it seems, but ladies and gentlemen, biggest steal of the sale right off the bat. I just had to get into this one immediately. Vampire at $10 is what inspired me to go, I'm making this video. This is ridiculous. Hitman 2 at $10. So now you've got Vampire and Hitman 2 for a total of $20. Hitman 3 is coming up, right? You might want to prepare for that. For me, I have snoozed on the last 2 Hitman games, which are very sandboxy, highly replayable though, and I've got to shout these games out anyway because I am going to be taking advantage of this deal here. This is absolutely one of the most replayable games we've seen in the last number of years. Hitman 2 has amazing levels, and if you don't know what Hitman is, the name tells you it all. You are a hitman. You're going out of your way to kill someone, and you can get really screwed up with it, honestly. You can get really creative with it. You visit some really interesting locales. You can wear disguises. You can just really mess with the game systems. As a stealth game, and as just an assassination game, and as a sandbox game, for $10, and the amount of content that it boasts, and look at all these deals. My God, man. This whole bundle just is $10. Oh my goodness, dude. That's insane. That's another insane deal right there. Oh my gosh. All right, so this one isn't an under-the-radar pick, but Halo the Master Chief Collection on Steam is fantastic, all right? And for $26, you get 7 games. That is insane, and I love Halo, all right? I don't think I talk about it enough, but I adore Halo. So getting the Master Chief Collection, which boasts Combat Evolved Anniversary, which is really cool because the Anniversary allows you to flip back and forth between the original version as well as the remastered one. Something that we never saw the industry really do since then. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 4, Halo Reach. Dude, that's so many games, and all these are awesome. They have their own awesome multiplayer. I mean, this is one I'm suggesting out of pure value, because I know, you know, money is hard to come by, so I'm trying to look for these deals that give you a lot of bang for your buck, like Vampire, replayable game, $10, like Hitman, very replayable, $10. Master Chief Collection is a suite of a ton of games for $26, and you know, the Steam versions are great, and it's got cross-play, so you can take advantage of that. Do keep in mind with some of these games I'm going to recommend, I would always suggest checking out what Game Pass is doing for the future, what they have now, because something like Master Chief Collection you can get through Game Pass, which technically is cheaper if you don't care to own them all. But if you care to own them all, right now instead of $40, $26, that's a steal. That is my word of the video here, steal, it seems. Okay, I have heard so much about this game, and I have caved in. Hades is $20. I'm buying it on my Switch, but look into this game. That's all I'm going to say. I can't speak authoritatively on it and tell you why it's great. I don't know really much about it, but I have never, and I'm not exaggerating, I have never heard a bad thing about Hades. I don't know how else to put it. But I love Bastion. I love Transistor more, and Pyre was probably the best game to come out of Supergiant Games. So they have a really good track record, in my opinion. They keep making better games, so it's no surprise that Hades is as incredible as it is. But I mean, I gotta see what it's all about. So I'm just putting this out there. Look into this one. All right, so this is a game I'm not over the moon about. Metro Exodus. I think the last two entries, 2033 and Last Light Redux, are far better in many ways. But for $16, it's pretty hard to tell you no for Metro Exodus if you haven't tried it out already. I know I have a lot of Fallout fans on my channel, so if you like Fallout, you're gonna dig Metro. It does a lot of things that I wish Fallout did. It has a very big focus on atmosphere. It's a little more gritty and survival based than Fallout, where your ammo is one of your most precious things, but it's also a resource for money. So there's a lot of give and take here. It's a lot more open than prior games. So if you play Exodus and you go, man, I like this, I want to go back to other Metro games, do know that Exodus is far more open. Metro Last Light and Metro 2033, much more narrow, and I think the game thrives because of that. Because whenever Exodus actually confines you into a space is when the game is truly at its best. But they don't do that all that often. Still, the storyline is solid. There are some choices you can make in the Metro series. It's extremely good. I'm glad it remains popular. But I'm not going to lie, 33,000, nothing to scoff at, but I thought there'd be more people who played this game. Maybe it's because there was a bit of the Epic Games issue with Metro Exodus, if I recall properly. But yeah, this is a game that now would be a good time to pick it up. 16 bucks. This is a CRPG I wanted to make a call out to. Pathfinder Kingmaker Enhanced Plus Edition. So pretty much this game, when Pathfinder first came out, I know it was a pretty lukewarm reception, and they went back to the drawing board and they did this enhanced version that kind of brings back, as the description suggests, Baldur's Gate, Fallout 1 and 2, Arcanum, kind of that level of experience to people. And since then, the reviews have really picked up. The love for the game has really picked up. So if you're like me and you really enjoyed Divinity Original Sin, that style of game, that isometric CRPG, this is definitely a game you may want to go ahead and take a peek into. It's not going to blow your socks off. There are certainly some issues people have had with it, but for $15, if you have already played, as you can see here, I own it, Divinity Original Sin 2, and you're looking for a little bit more of that style of game that's kind of enhanced some things and picked up a couple of new tricks, Pathfinder Kingmaker might be a good look for you, as well as Crusader Kings 3, but that's more like, apparently, like D&D, the single-player game, which is $40 here. Now, some of you know part of these sales videos are to tell you what to buy, but also maybe what to hold off on. Now, you might be surprised to see what page I'm on, which is Greedfall. I love Greedfall. But they just recently announced they're adding more content to the game. They're adding next-gen upgrades to the game next year. So I don't know what's exactly going to happen with this. Will this all come out on Steam for free? How extensive are the upgrades? How extensive is the DLC? I really like Greedfall. I'm sure it'll be on sale once again in the holiday season, like when we get to the holiday sale later on in December. But I would say just hold off on this a little bit. Not because it's bad. It's a very enjoyable game in many ways. It has some jank. But I'd say hold off just to find out more about that next-gen upgrade. See if that's up your alley. Plus, since we're so close to that, buying it now, you'd be playing a inferior version than maybe in a couple months when they've improved some things. Because like I said, there is some jank here. So it's a great game. Do keep your eye on it. But do know that it could be better in a couple of months, and you might want to wait that one out. So I know there's a lot of ways to play Battlefront 2 from DICE. You could be a part of EA Play. You could be a part of Game Pass, which is a part of EA Play. You could have already owned the game. It's very cheap. But if you have yet to look into Star Wars Battlefront 2, for $12, all of its DLC is complete. It's no longer getting any support, but it has been drastically improved since its launch. And I know it was definitely receiving a lot of backlash at its launch. I was a part of it. I thought the game was not as good. It had underneath it, though, what I did say in my criticism is a very good core. There was a lot there to like, but that microtransaction system really hurt the game off the get-go. Fortunately, that has been changed. A lot of Star Card system has been augmented, and they've just added more and more and more, from modes to maps to heroes, villains, single-player stuff like instant action, even new campaign DLC if that's your thing, which I didn't like the campaign here. It's really about the multiplayer I'm trying to sell to you. This for $10, get it with a couple of buddies. Really fun, really great sound as well. Really brings Star Wars to life. Of course, the visuals help that too. So if this is one you've sort of been skipping out on, maybe pick it up for $12 if you want to own it. But do keep in mind with that EA Play subscription, maybe you and the buddies just want to get on a new wave for a little bit. Try it out for a month with a $5 subscription, or maybe get Game Pass. I'm trying to offer flexible options here, okay? All right, here's a game that I don't think got enough credit when it came around, and that's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now, part of the reason I don't think it got a ton of credit is because it sort of marketed itself as an RPG and was more of a light RPG. If you go in with the right expectations that, hey, I'm going to get a beat 'em up that has light RPG elements, and I'm going to play as Gohan for most of this game, not Kakarot, not Goku, then I think you'll be really happy with it. So it's a retelling of the entire Dragon Ball Z storyline. They've added some DLC to cover the Battle of the Gods movie, as well as Resurrection F, if you're interested in that at all afterwards. But there is also one piece of free content that they added to this game that really caught me off guard, and I'll be talking about it more later on in like Game of the Year discussion and Hidden Gems discussions. This one happens to host the biggest hidden gem, in my opinion, of a free update, and that is called Dragon Ball Z Card Warriors. It is its own Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball card hybrid game, and it is amazing, and it's in this game. Now, is that worth the price? Of admission alone? No, but it is really, really good. It's really fun. I am a huge fan of it. I hope they release it. As its own app. But with that being said, as a game, it's just a fun beat 'em up that retells the Dragon Ball Z storyline, and I love the new cutscenes here. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, $23. It's about if you want to go for everything, I did 100% completion in this game. It is about like a 50, 60 hour adventure, but there isn't much replayability after that. So just do keep that in mind when you're buying into it. But I think at this price point, it's low enough where you can safely buy in and have a pretty good time with a simple beat 'em up. That also, it's nice just to explore the world of Dragon Ball in a way that we haven't before. There's not a level of interactivity when you're in, say, West City, but I don't know. I care about that and don't care about it, and I think you'll care less if you're at $23. Here's one I admittedly didn't play, and that is Resident Evil 3. The reason I didn't play this is because I was very excited for it, considering how much I loved the Resident Evil 2 remake. And so I thought 3 would be more of that, but it wasn't. It was very short. And that's why I skipped out on it, because I thought, $60 for like a 4-hour game, I'm okay. But now, with $20 there, it's a little more enticing to buy into. Now, from what I've heard, it's not as highly replayable as Resident Evil 2. But I know that for a lot of folks, they held off because it was very short. So just know this is available on a somewhat more significant sale, given the fact that it just came out earlier this year. So $20 is pretty cheap for it at this point in time. But if I were to pick one, it would be this bad boy right here, Resident Evil 2 Remake. If you haven't played that, go for that. But Resident Evil 3, in case you were curious, $20 for a game that is far too short. All right. This is the last suggestion here. The one to cap it off. Because this is probably the biggest snub currently occurring at the Game Awards, in my opinion, next to Half-Life Alyx. But I haven't played Half-Life Alyx. I have played Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This game for $15, are you kidding me? So it's about 9-10 hours long. It is semi-replayable if you want. There are some progression systems in there, so you can continue to play after those 9 to 10 hours and put a couple more hours in there. But it is a beautiful, pixel-perfect platformer. Great combat, great bosses. It takes clear inspiration from Hollow Knight, I've noticed. The story is beautiful. The music, like the score, it'll make you sad and feel things. And $30 I can understand. It's about a 10-hour game, $30. But I know some people don't care about the whole hour to dollar ratio, but I think nowadays it's a little more prevalent. But for $15, this is one of 2020's very best games. It is wonderful. It is, I think, better than the original in almost every way. I think it's a huge improvement. Outside of some of the escape sections, I think were better in the original game. But what's really neat is, for example, Ori has different difficulties, and they don't just affect combat. Like those escape sections I mentioned, they're more difficult, and you have to be more precise with your platforming if you're playing on a harder difficulty. So it changes the whole pace of the game, and I think that's awesome. So for $15, I wanted to cap it off with this game here that just doesn't get enough attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of my suggestions for the Steam Autumn Sale. We will be back around for the Steam Winter Sale of 2020. Fret not. I have you all covered for the holiday season. I love doing these videos because I get to call out a lot of great games here that maybe didn't get enough attention or maybe you didn't see on sale. So this is absolutely one of them. And with that, I hope you learned something here. If you got any other great sales that maybe I skimmed by, that's your opportunity to go ahead, fire away in the comments down below. Let me know what you saw. And with that, it's time for me to sign off. Big thank you to everyone who supports the channel through the Patreon, through the members here on YouTube. You guys are killing it. We're at 280 plus patrons, which is just mind-boggling, just because we started off at like half of that this year. So thank you so much for believing in me, and I hope to continue to bring you all value on the platform. And so now, that'll do it for me. We'll talk with all of you soon, all right? Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.